Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, girlfriend.
Ooh, we are back with part two about how to handle the holidays. We hope you enjoyed the first part from last week, where we gave you some really great journal prompts and things to think about. And today, I'm going to lead the charge around boundaries. Yes. All right, girls. So we got a couple that I love that I wanted to share that I think are going to be super helpful for all of us. So, if you are a calendar planner, I've got two. I've got one for planners and one for non-planners, but they'll work for both of you. Okay, if you are a planner like me, I love me a calendar. I love me a checklist. I just go to town with these things. I want you to look around Thanksgiving, and even if you can think this far out, Christmas, we know, or the holidays, whatever you celebrate next month. And I want you to just look at the flow of your events, your obligations, the things that are going to be happening. And I want you to look at them around what is going to be energetically required of you.
Oh,
What those events spark in you, and look at each of them and notice if one's charged. Ooh, like one of my friends who's hosting people for Thanksgiving, they're gonna all go to Alcatraz. And so
mm,
it's like, does that event make you excited, or does that event make you feel like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of logistics, right?
mm.
And I want you to kind of notice what is going to be a lot, or maybe you're like, this is baking pie day and it's delightful, but it's also going to require a lot of energy. And I want you to, or ooh, even better yet, this is when so and so relative arrives.
Right, because I was thinking about there's emotional energy and then there's physical energy.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
my energy is kind of like all of those.
Okay, yeah.
You, the therapist, probably knows more specifically what we mean by that. So with all of those events leading up around this time, I just want you to plan out what you may need. Do you need an
Mm,
escape route? If you know you are doing a big event one day, do you need to like carve out a little time that night?
mm.
Any way you can. Even if you schedule, like, I am going to take a bath that night, or I am going to excuse myself and go just have a little meditation time. Anything you can plan to keep yourself recharged
Yeah.
during this, like, very, typically socially kind of intense time. Okay.
I like that a lot. I mean, I've done this a few times in
Mm-hmm.
different ways. I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
that's been a consistent, but you were actually encouraging me to step it up with this. But I know that when I've been able to tell my husband
Yeah.
what I need and
Yeah.
be very clear. So I'm going to need a break, and the break I
Mm-hmm.
need is going to look like this. It's going to take this amount of time, and I'm going to disappear or take a bath or do the thing or go for a walk or get on a phone call or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He he bulldozes for me to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
reminding me of the importance of that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I know that is serving some girlfriends.
We've got to take care of ourselves. And this, I think I've gotten really trained well from being a voice coach and looking at people who are either performers or public speakers. And it's like, okay, you have all of these quote unquote performances. How do we pace your energy? Because you are your instrument. And I like to think of the holidays as one long performance, right?
That's interesting.
I mean, it takes a lot of energy. You're setting the stage, the table. There's a lot of parallels with it. So just how to pace this very in kind of like right charged time of year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So hopefully that helps you all. Now, for you non-planner types, or for even like for the planners, when things go sideways or things shift and things change, I want you to just do like that daily practice of giving yourself one moment in the midst of holiday mania, right? The good, the bad, all of it. Just check in.
Mm,
Just keep having those internal check ins. And I even want you to think about in the middle of a conversation with a relative who's
mm.
maybe cornered you at one of these functions. You have the right, you have the permission to politely excuse yourself, to
Mm.
move away. So I think a lot of the hardship we feel around this time is how we feel stuck.
Right.
So
Stuck and obligated.
stuck and obligated. Ugh,
I mean,
right?
what makes you want to just stay in bed more than being stuck and obligated? to situations
Right.
and all the gaslighting that happens in the culture. But
Yes.
that's your relative. You're supposed to be love them. That's your
Yes.
so and so. You're supposed to forgive them.
Yes.
That's some
It
bullshit.
is some bullshit. You do not have to sit there and engage, especially if people start talking politics, right? So we know that that is a very tricky topic around the holidays, and there are going to be people that bring it up intentionally to get a rise out of us. So, you decide for yourself what that looks like, what you need to do to take care of yourself. But I just want to remind all of us that you can have moment to moment choices about how you can move away from something, how you can flow, how you can change the topic. You do not have to get cornered by anyone, and no one has to get cornered by you too. So if someone decides to kind of shift away, that's okay too. Keep that energy flowing, y'all. It's all right.
And as you're talking about it, I feel relaxed and I think it's empowerment. I think the
Yes.
relaxation that I'm feeling right now in my body is telling me that, yeah, I can relax into this, I can take care of myself, and that this is its own spiritual practice.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
We are wired and trained to like keep our minds busy or focused on negativity, but we can also just focus on ourselves and making these boundaries is like the biggest gift for ourselves. And I think as girlfriends of a certain age, the other thing too is like we're not like you and I are not wanting to people please
No.
anymore,
No.
right? That has completely wasted our energy and our time. And so we're taking our power back. And I think that's really what this is about. It's about taking our
Yes.
power back, but it empowers everybody else too, especially when it's done with love.
And I host Thanksgiving for a pretty big group. I love it. We've done it for years. My son was counting up all the turkey wishbones. We have 9. This will be the 10th.
I always wondered about that on your
Yeah,
windowsill.
on our windowsill. That's what they are.
I didn't know.
But
Oh, I love that.
energetically, it's a lot if you're hosting.
Right.
I understand it's energetically if you're going. It's a whole thing. So I like to think now, after doing this for a while, that I set the table. I have a potluck system. People bring their signature dishes, so it's not all on me or my husband, who's a great cook as well. So we're really like sharing the labor, which I think is key. We get our sons involved in setting the table and doing their part. And then what I have to remind myself time and time again is I am just a part of this.
Oh.
This is not all falling on me. I am setting the table. My guests are arriving, and I am going to let them have full ownership over their, day with us. So that burden of being the hostess with the mostest, the pleaser, the checking in and making sure everyone's all right. Oh, and the other way I do that, which I think is a good boundary thing too, is put all the drinks out, put all the glasses out, put the wine opener out, put the dessert plates out, put the dessert things out. Everything you can do to have it be more of an automated system so that when the meal comes around, everyone just knows where to go. You can kind of point them in the right direction, but you're not running around with your hair on fire the whole night, which I did the first couple times.
Yeah.
So we're OGs. We got this down. But yeah, just give yourself permission to be like, I'm good. I did my part. Here's my dish. We're good. And sit back and enjoy yourself if you can.
Yeah. The other thing I'm being reminded of is that because everyone has some version of holiday drama, I think it's really important to remind yourself we're all dealing with shit during that time. Not just you, but your in-laws and the uncle and their dog and all the things.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their trauma and their wounds and their issues and their own bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're all seeing the dynamic or the dinner party through that lens.
Right.
So when people act up, act out, misbehave, drink too much and get all sloppy, whatever the thing is, it's just them having their stuff. And I feel like when I can see that, I have a lot more compassion.
100%.
And then I'm like, I don't have to be all up in it or do the things that I've done in the past, getting angry, holding a grudge.
Yes.
I can see you for who you are and how you are. And I can accept that. Doesn't mean I have to love it or I'm going to do it again next year, but I feel like that lets me and everyone else off the hook. We're all dealing with bullshit.
I think the holidays are triggering for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point. And on any given year, right? You may be more susceptible. You may be in a place. And I think we can all relate to like years where we've been in it too. And we hope everyone gives us grace. So thank you for that very like humane reminder that like some of us are going through it at different levels, but we don't have to own that. And maybe we can have the
Yeah.
patience and just like the love for them to like look at them at the party as they're acting a fool and be like, wow, they're really going through it.
So this is what trauma looks like. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's sad, and it tends to put a magnifying glass on family dynamics and situations, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just part of the culture. It's
Mm-hmm.
part of what we're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be okay.
It can be okay.
And that you're reminding us that we can take really good care of ourselves, and that makes it even more okay.
Exactly. Take care of yourself because that's really like important. I think whether you're the host or whether you're a guest, it's very compelling as recovering good people to take care of everyone else, and then you are going to be spent. I know I will be spent if I do it that way.
Yeah.
So kind of actually being a little more guarded is really helpful, and then I can enjoy myself more because I'm in my own body.
Yeah.
I'm in my own reality, kind of enjoying the theater.
Join the theater of it all. I
It's-
love that. I love that. Well, if you found this helpful, go back and listen to part 1 of this, where we talk about expectations, and we give you some journal prompts on how to handle yourself and your business for the holidays. And I want to
Indeed.
wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I know what I'm grateful for. 3
Yes.
seasons with my girl, and just like this experience. I'm really grateful.
And that's one of my favorite things about the holidays, maybe ending on a sweet note, is we do go around the table and we each share something we're grateful for out
Yes.
loud. And that to me is what it is all about this time of year, and whatever you want to make it, And my husband is Native American. I mean, we have a laugh about Thanksgiving and, the kind of narrative
Complicated.
Right, exactly. Complicated, but we reclaimed it and made it our own, so you can make it whatever you want to make it.
That's really beautiful, because a lot of us are having a hard time when you really look at what the history of Thanksgiving is and the way people celebrate it with wild abandon and this tricky story. And I don't want to make this be a political thing, but I know I struggle with what my kids are learning at school about what Thanksgiving is and what they should be grateful for. But I talk with them about how I see it. And so we're having a reclaiming of that too. Plus, I'm vegetarian. So I'm not serving some big ass turkey up at my house, right? Or if I'm going to someone else's house, I need to bring my own vegetarian meal. Or like, how do I still make it fun? Because I love the food, but I don't want to have it be very bird centric for myself. And both of my kids actually won't eat birds. And so there's a whole complication about it too, of like, what is the food we eat and the traditions. And I can feel like in my family, it's shifting. There's a shift happening. And so I just want to also give us permission that Thanksgiving can also shift and change. Like,
Yes.
the pies can be different. The stuffing can be wild and crazy. And maybe you don't put sage in it this year.
What a different spice.
Or you make it gluten-free stuffing. I just want to give us all permission that we can lighten up, and we can. I feel I want to shimmy.
Absolutely.
That we can lighten it up and have
Keep
fun.
the traditions you love and throw away the ones that aren't working for you.
Yeah.
I love it.
All
right. Well, happy Thanksgiving. We're grateful for you too.
Indeed.
All right.
Bye.